Heather and Clarice, that hearing lasted 2.5 hours, and about 2 hours in, one of Ezekiel Elliott's attorneys stood and said, "We have a decision from the arbitrator. That arbitrator has decided to uphold Ezekiel Elliott's suspension 6 games, but not so soon. This federal judge could change that based on his ruling on the temporary restraining order and the injunction." Rich, we are right outside of the doors at the international arrivals here, and people just started chanting, as you can hear. We have tried to talk to someone with Customs to get some official information here. The airport spokesperson referred us to Customs Border Protection. We have made several phone calls, left several messages, sent several emails, but have not heard anything to get some official information about what is happening. Again, this is all changing. We don't know if more people will be released from being detained. A candid conversation with them before the vigil tonight, talking through their pain. And that police officer that you just saw break down and cry, you can see him right there in the middle of this group that's talking right now. His name is Ivan Saldana. He was hit with shrapnel Thursday night. You can see him shaking hands and talking to people here. Stephen, Heather, we are outside of the neighborhood. It is still blocked off here. As you heard in that press conference, the police chief said this is a dangerous area, still very much an active situation. They now believe that that suspect, who we now know shot and killed Detective Jerry Walker, is inside the home. Yes, still going on, and you can bet that they're going to be going on until it gets dark and these people cannot stop. We have been watching so many professionals, first responders, helping rescue people, and now where we are at this exit ramp at Highway 8 in Tidwell, you're seeing civilians, people who own boats, deploying them to go rescue people in neighborhoods. To show you how much water is here, take a look at this Dodge Ram truck halfway submerged. This is a service road. And Stephen, Heather, you can see right here, right now, a great example of what we've been watching this afternoon. This is a swamp buggy that we just saw come barreling down here. And now they're relieving some of their crews and probably about to head back out. It looks like some of these people might be police. Yes, they're wearing police jackets.
We're just finally catching our breath here a little bit. I've covered a few of these. This is Allison's first Super Bowl. You picked a pretty good one to be your first.
I really did. Phenomenal. Yeah. And some fans even admitted to us that they started crying at the end of the game. Talking about when you saw Tom Brady collapse to the ground, just overwhelmed with emotion. That made a lot of fans emotional too. You saw him get up and hug his coach then. And just a few moments ago, I watched as someone was trying to push into the barricade where police are. We don't want to shine our light at police because it makes them difficult to see, but they are now in a row. There are more of them, and they are holding that line as these protesters get closer to the barricade in front of this Confederate monument. There are a lot of people who have left here, and they've said, "I don't want to get shot." And they've said, this is not what I came to protest. Some of them very angry at the people who are doing this right now to police. They're upset about the Confederate monuments. They're upset about the white supremacists. They're not trying to yell at police. Hops and Klan go hand in hand. Hey, Brandon, we just heard a can hit the ground. I was checking to see what it is. Police have successfully pushed them out of the park right now, and they're just continuing to move forward toward the sidewalk and try and get them to move. These streets have been cordoned off with dump trucks that are filled with sand, presumably to stop a car. Again, what we know right now confirmed 8 people dead, including the shooter. We have spoken to people in this neighborhood. I just spoke with 4 young men, some of them wearing Cowboys jerseys, who told me this was a Dallas Cowboys football game watch party in which some kind of disturbance happened, and then this shooter opened fire at the party. I spoke with one man in the neighborhood who said he heard 30 to 40 shots. Police have not confirmed how many shots were fired. I now want to talk to Crystal Shug. She works nearby at this nursing home, and she heard this disturbance happen. Crystal, what did you hear that first alerted you to this scene?
It was an argument. It sounded like an argument between a woman and a man, and it got really loud. You can hear him getting really, really loud. And next thing you know, all you heard was just multiple rounds just going off.
And what was the time frame between, how long were you hearing the arguing? Is that what drew you outside?
The arguments what brought me outside. The argument was about a good 10 minutes. They argued, and you can hear it get really, really loud. Like, you can tell it was getting disturbance, like there was something about to happen.
And that caused people to come outside?
It caused people to come outside, and once people started coming outside, that's when he let off the rounds.
You say it's a he. Was it a man that was shooting? And what did you see?
All I saw was the man shooting. I just seen him go in there and just started letting him off, just letting off.
What did you hear?
I heard guns. I heard guns going. I heard a lot of screaming. A lot of screaming. A lot of screaming.
Did you see people running out of the home or what?
Nobody was running. All you heard was just shooting. You could just hear boom, 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 boom. And all I could do was just run and go grab my phone and try to call the police.
You did call the police. What was the reaction? Were there other people who were outside who were doing the same?
It was other people that was out here trying to get on their phones to call the laws as well. And there was other folks that were coming because like the 4 that you seen here, they got a call from one of the other people that was in the house. That's what made them pull up.
So the men that I just spoke to who were they were outside of the party had just left?
They just left probably like 20 minutes ago to go watch the game at a bar that they usually watch it at.
Wow.
And they got a call from one of the people in the house to come back. There's been a shooting here.
What is your emotion right now?
I'm in shock. It's always quiet over here. There is nothing ever going on over here. I'm so shocked. It's in Plano. It's quiet. Like now, it's quiet. So you wouldn't believe that a shooting would happen. And 8 people so close to my job. I'm worried for the people here. I'm worried for everyone. I don't know how to explain it. Like my heart is racing.
And to know that this happened at a Cowboys game watch party.
At a game that could easily been resolved. Nothing. It just happened out of nowhere.
What are your thoughts knowing that 8 people have lost their lives tonight?
It's sad. It's terrible. Now you have 8 more funerals. You got 8 families that's got to do burials that probably can't afford it. Some could. You know, it's heartbreaking to hear that people lose their lives, especially over someone's ignorance.
Crystal, thank you so much. I'm glad that you're okay. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
So again, Rich, 8 people killed. We spoke to the Plano police spokesperson not long ago who said in his career he's never worked or had a shooting like this in Plano. Many people know that this city, does not have this kind of violence, and this violence is rare really anywhere. 8 people shot at a Dallas Cowboys watch party at a home here at the intersection of Spring Creek and Blue Ridge. Let me step out so we can give you a better idea of what this scene looks like right now.
Nazis, no KKK, no fascist USA!
Dallas City Hall at 7:30 Saturday night. The intent of the Dallas Against White Supremacy rally was to unite against hate. The energy at first lighthearted.
You can eat cake and stand up for what's right. Yeah, we're having our cake and eating it too.
People from all walks of life came together.
Punch a Nazi, flip a cop!
Among the people were those representing the anti-fascist movement, or Antifa. Organizer Eric Ramsey had been working with Dallas police and had identified the group as one of several that could cause tension.
I was aware that Antifa were on their way here, and I was also aware that they had been turned away from our rally because they were carrying weaponry.
Ramsey says his own volunteers turned them away, but as night fell and the rally wrapped up, those protesters started marching, yelling obscenities at police. They marched to Pioneer Park Cemetery, where they were met by state police and Dallas police in riot gear, guarding a Confederate monument. That's where things turned physical among protesters. Some throwing water bottles and threatening to open fire on officers. Peaceful protesters who were at the rally stood by in disgust at the violence.
When you go into the police, you change and you distort the entire message. We're not here against the police. We are here against the Confederate statues.
We showed that clip to Ramsey.
I agree. No, I agree with that. That was completely opposite of what we were trying to accomplish.
Ramsey says Dallas police made sure everything went smoothly, even as the situation escalated.
If anybody were at the rally and felt the energy that we felt and just saw everybody there, and then they went to Pioneer Park, they would have been able to see that that was not us.
I mean, what do you say? I mean, really, there is absolutely nothing to say.
Difficult to put into words the distress in Dallas Thursday night. Alan Wright, a chaplain at Baylor Hospital, felt silence and hugs were better than any words of comfort for the victims and their loved ones. He and 7 other chaplains showed up to Baylor as orthopedic trauma surgeon Alan Jones stood by the ER doors waiting.
And we already knew that there were some fatalities, and there was quite a few police officers in the emergency room, and you could tell by their faces they knew that too. And it's just, that made things completely different.
It's what they trained for, but could never anticipate.
Well, this is one that I won't forget, that's for sure.
Doctors and nurses lined up in the ER at Baylor. Wright says instead of chaos, there was a certain kind of calm as the professionals did their jobs. He says there was disbelief, sadness, and anger, and that anger remains.
One person caused a lot of pain in a lot of people's lives. You know, a lot of people hurting, you know, and one person decided to make that happen.
But somehow his faith is stronger.
I do believe that there's more good than bad in the world after a thing like this because I saw it. I saw it firsthand.
I think most of our community on Thursday night was thinking, well, I wish I could do something to help, but not many people are given that opportunity. So I look at it as at least I had a little part to play in doing a little bit to help.
Doctors at Parkland opened up Monday about their experiences that night.
I think about it every day, that I was unable to save those cops when they came here that night. It weighs on my mind constantly.
Dr. Brian Williams' words were powerful.
There's this dichotomy where I am standing with law enforcement, but I also personally feel and understand that angst that comes when you cross the paths of an officer in uniform and you're fearing for your safety. I've been there and I understand that. But for me, that does not condone disrespecting or killing police officers.
2 Dallas hospitals that are grieving and are not alone in that despair.
I'm not the only one, you know. We're all going through this together, and we will make it through this together. I have faith.
Allison Harris, Fox 4 News.